Back. Debate continues to heat up over political reform, as Vicky Kung reports. Pro-democracy activists are accusing the government of ignoring their views.
At a special meeting of the LegCo Constitutional Affairs panel, various groups aired their views towards political reform and the 2017 chief executive election. The Civil Human Rights Front accused the Secretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs, Raymond Tam, of brushing aside the results of the New Year's Day civil referendum that showed most respondents favor an element of public nomination of candidates.
He said
there's no reference value. Why do you choose to neglect public views and their efforts and say there's no reference value?
Student representatives also spoke out against what they see as a lack of democratic development.
If you haven't been enrolled in Hong Kong universities, I can tell you that each Hong Kong university student body, they can nominate their student body leaders.
And there are those who are against imposing a cap on the number of CE candidates.
Does that mean that you believe that there must be some screening? If more people come forward to contest the election, how do you propose that we will eliminate some of the candidates so that we can achieve the desired number that you advocate?
Also today, Chief Secretary for Administration Carrie Lam was in Sha Tin as part of the government's consultation exercise. Lam made clear the administration will listen to the public's views. And the convener of the Executive Council stressed the need to achieve a consensus.
And I hope every party, every individual making comments on this very important subject should adopt a positive approach so that we can move forward on the political reform.
The government promised to maintain an open attitude towards all suggestions, but it insisted that now isn't the right time to comment on any of the proposed nominating methods for universal suffrage. Vicky Kung, TVB News.
Sources say in his Wednesday policy address, the chief executive will announce plans to offer financial support to students pursuing higher education on the mainland. Ronnie Samtani has the story.
Cui Dak-heng is studying at Renmin University of China in Beijing. He recently returned home for the winter break, during which he worked part-time jobs to pay for school. The government does not offer financial aid to Choi or other Hong Kong students attending tertiary institutions on the mainland. Cui says he pays more than 40,000 renminbi in tuition, accommodation, food, and other expenses a year. Kenneth Law organizes regular seminars for Hong Kong students interested in studying across the border.
In Hong Kong, only about 20% of the secondary 6 students can get to the universities. So the other students, if they want to get higher education, they have to go somewhere. If they had enough resources, they can go to the US or UK. But for the relative low-class students, they may not have enough economic resources.
Tuition at many tertiary institutions on the mainland is about 5,000 renminbi a year, compared with more than $40,000 at Hong Kong universities. According to sources, Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying will announce in his policy address a scheme to help local students studying across the border. It'll be similar to the grants and loans provided by the Student Financial Assistance Agency. Currently, 75 tertiary institutions on the mainland offer an exam-free admission scheme. In other words, students can be admitted without having to sit exams across the border. And Hong Kong students who meet certain requirements in the Diploma of Secondary Education exam will be eligible. Financial support will be offered to those in need. Government sources also say there are plans to boost the number of associate degree program places at local universities by increasing the quota for non-JUPA students from 4,000 to 5,000 places. Ronnie Samtani, TVB News.
And overseas now, Israel has announced plans to build 1,400 new homes in Jewish settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The move is expected to deal a blow to US-brokered peace talks between the Israelis and Palestinians. Alan Buckner has more.
Israel yesterday published tenders for the new homes in the occupied territories. 800 will be built in the West Bank, 600 in East Jerusalem. The Israeli housing minister also reissued tenders for 582 other units in East Jerusalem that had failed to attract bids from contractors earlier. The announcement came just days after the latest visit to the region by U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry to try to jumpstart Washington-led peace negotiations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party says the construction of homes is Israel's natural and historical right. Palestinians see that as an obstacle to achieving a viable future state in the West Bank and East Jerusalem.
This is a violation for all the agreements that has been already signed before, and this is also a message to the international community that the current Israeli government is not really responding to the international efforts for a two-state solution based on Palestine and Israel, Palestine on the land that has been occupied in 1967, including East Jerusalem.
The United Nations Secretary General is against the expansion of Jewish settlements in the occupied territories.
I'm alarmed by this morning's announcement of well over 1,000 settlement units. Such activity is not only illegal, but also an obstacle to peace.
Washington also spoke out against the Israeli plan.
We consider now and have always considered the settlements to be illegitimate. We express that, of course, on a regular basis as needed.
Alan Bookdia, TVB News.
The backlash over orchestrating traffic jams as a political vendetta is taking a huge toll on New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. As the Republican presidential hopeful insists his staff pulled the shenanigan, his administration has already been slapped with a civil lawsuit and criminal charges may be forthcoming. Sonia Otero reports.
If the governor of New Jersey thought the traffic jam scandal is the only thing harming his potential run for the White House, he's wrong. Investigators are poring over a lawsuit filed against his office with a fine-tooth comb in what is now being called the Bridgegate scandal. 6 angry Fort Lee residents filed the suit. They complain, like countless others, about suffering various losses due to the monster traffic jams over the bridge that connects New Jersey with New York.
Or they had to walk across the bridge in order to get here in a timely manner.
I feel outraged. I feel insulted. I feel taken advantage of.
If Christie's staff did this to retaliate against the mayor of Fort Lee for not backing Christie for re-election, then a class action lawsuit is imminent.
When you take an entire town and punish it by saying you voted for the wrong people and therefore we're going to cut off your ability to travel in interstate commerce, you've engaged in a very serious violation of the First Amendment that is actionable for damages.
One official insists interfering with interstate commerce violated federal laws in both states. But the question remains, was the governor ever in the loop?
I had no knowledge of this, of the planning, the execution, or anything about it.
But is he telling the truth?
If he isn't, I believe it won't hold up over time, and his presidential aspirations will collapse.
Court documents show Christie's appointee, David Wildstein, was warned that emergency responders were getting held up, but he did nothing. He even ignored a call for help from the mayor of Fort Lee. Sonia Artero, TVB News.
India unveiled its brand new $2 billion airport terminal yesterday, which is now hemmed in by Mumbai's sprawling shantytowns. The facility was inaugurated by Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. The finished terminal has a sleek and airy design, abundant greenery, and some 7,000 pieces of Indian art. The check-in facility features a 4.5-hectare roof with dozens of skylights that resemble the plumage of a peacock, India's national bird. The 65,000 square meter retail and gateway areas boast more than 1,000 lotus flower-shaped chandeliers. The airport will shift all international carriers to the new terminal within a few weeks. All right, Chris, over to you for sports.
Impressive airport, yeah. In the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets beat the Miami Heat in double overtime, 104-95. LeBron James scored a game-high 36 points, but fouled out in the first OT. Meanwhile, Jamison Wong has highlights of another exciting game, this one between Golden State and Boston.
And here's Abby for
You might want to start calling them the Golden State Road Warriors. G-State returning home after a 7-game road swing, one in which they went 6-1. And it doesn't seem to matter whose floor they play on as the Warriors jumped out to a lead against the Boston Celtics' Klay Thompson from distance.
Down a 3.
Andre Iguodala led Golden State with 22 points, Warriors with a 13-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Stephen Curry made that play. He got over back to
But Boston fought back. Jeff Green with the basket to tie the game at 97 with under 20 seconds to go. He had a game-high 24.
I think he had the option for both.
Then it was the other half of the Splash Brothers. Steph Curry scored the go-ahead basket with 2 seconds left. Curry finished with 19. Warriors win for the 11th time in 12 games. The C's slumped to their 7th straight loss. Jamison Warren, TVB News.
American Brian Stewart has the lead at the halfway point to the Sony Open in Hawaii. Stewart fired a 65 Friday at the Wailea Golf Course in Honolulu. But the shot of the day went to James Hahn. The Korean-American hit his second shot on the par 5, nearly 200 yards with a 6-iron. It was so far out the cameraman was expecting him to lay up, but the ball went into the hole for a rare albatross. Hahn is 5 strokes behind the leader. Chinese teenager Guang Tianlang shot a 73 and 75 and missed the cut.
And that's the news for tonight.
Good night.
Hello everyone, it was fine and dry today. At 5 p.m., the northeast monsoon was affecting the coast of Guangdong. Today's temperatures ranged from 14.1 to 18.8 degrees, and the current temperature is 16.3 degrees Celsius. The fire danger warning is yellow and the fire risk is high. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? Cloudy periods tonight, it will be fine and dry tomorrow, and visibility will be relatively low. Temperatures will range from 15 to 20 degrees. Temperatures will be dropping on Monday, and it will be cold and dry in the following few days. Tomorrow's air quality health index will range from low to moderate, and the maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 5. Now, here's the latest global weather update. Showers in Shanghai and Taipei, cloudy in Xiamen. Cloudy in Guangzhou and Chengdu, sunny intervals in Macau. Sunny in Beijing, cloudy in Seoul, sunny intervals in Tokyo. Foggy in Bangkok, cloudy in Ho Chi Minh City, rain in Manila. Thunderstorms in Kuala Lumpur, showers in Singapore, rain in Jakarta. Foggy in New Delhi, sunny in Karachi, sunny intervals in Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo, sunny intervals in Nairobi. Showers in Brisbane and Melbourne, sunny intervals in Sydney, sunny in Auckland. Rain in Toronto and New York. Rain in Vancouver, showers in San Francisco, sunny in Los Angeles. Cloudy in London, Frankfurt and Zurich, foggy in Paris, sunny intervals in Amsterdam. And that's the weather. Have a great evening.